Unox. I am based in Malaysia, so I'm here today just for this demo. Right, so with me I have Alfie. She is taking care of the whole of the business. Okay, so before we begin, let me just give you a quick introduction on Unox. So Unox, we are an Italian company that specializes in the manufacturing of ovens. So we have small ovens like this, all the way to big ovens, depending on what you need for your bakery or your business. Okay, today's goal is to showcase to you the Bakerlux Shop Pro Touch, or popularly known as the Arianna Touch. Okay, and I will show you and explain to you what is the difference between this model and some of our other lower models like the manual oven. Okay. Okay, we will start off with making the sponge cake, which is a Swiss roll. What you have here is 3 recipes. We are going to do the pineapple cookie, the soft roll, as well as an addition of the Swiss roll. So this is the ingredient list. You can take a picture, you can write it down, up to you, and I will explain as we go along. Okay, casual session today. So before I add in my sugar, I want to make sure it is frothy like this. So it has some volume before I add in my sugar. And for me personally, I like to start off with low speed. So the bubbles that are formed are smaller. So later the meringue is going to be more stable. I will add this a little bit at a time, just to give it time to dissolve inside. But also you always need to keep an eye, just to make sure that you don't overbeat before you finish adding your sugar. Because then it's going to be very dry and stiff. It's going to be difficult to fold it later. Okay? I don't really like to dump everything in and beat, because sometimes the sugar is heavy, it will be sitting at the bottom, it will not dissolve. Okay? So while this is going, I will mix the egg yolk, milk, and vanilla. Yeah, yes. So you can choose to split the sugar in half, meaning some goes here, some goes there. But I prefer to add it all in the egg white, just to make sure the meringue is very, very stiff and very, very stable. Okay. Yes, it's already inside. Yeah, we add salt. There's no inside there. Yeah. So you add in a little bit of salt, just about a quarter teaspoon, just to marry the flavors. If not, it's going to be very flat. You can add in cream of tartar or lemon juice or vinegar into the meringue if you prefer. So any neutral oil will do. So once I've added in all my sugar, I will increase the speed just to give it some body. Usually once you can have this. Okay. For those of you, I'm assuming every customers are very skeptical on baking cake in in general in the Unox oven because it's a fully fan force oven. Many people have the perception that if there is fan, I cannot bake my cake because it is going to be dry or somehow it's not going to turn out well. Okay, but let me share with you, whenever you're baking in the Unox oven versus a normal oven, it can be a direct, it can be your home convection, you should drop the temperature at least 20 to 30 degrees Celsius lower than your existing recipe. Okay, so when I bake things like butter cake, even sponge cake, I go as low as 130 degrees Celsius, but I extend the time slightly. So everything gets evenly cooked, evenly browned, without it growing too fast and cracking and so on. Okay, so to set sponge cake, I want to reduce it to fan 1. Okay, so it's more gentle. So once I am done, the oven is already automatically set to preheat at the same temperature of my baking temperature. But what I like to do is I like to preheat 30 degrees higher because I find that when I open the door and I load in my product, there will be 20 to 30 degrees of temperature drop. So to make sure that my cake starts baking immediately when I put it, I preheat it higher. Okay, once I'm ready, I can just press start. The oven will preheat. So right now it's at 64 degrees Celsius because just now I turned it on. It will preheat. It will take maybe about 3 to 4 minutes to get to 170. Okay, which is much faster compared to any other oven out there. Okay, so with the Unox oven, when you are baking, there is no need for you to turn it on ahead of time before you start baking. So you prepare everything and then you start the oven. Because it's not going to be flame in 2 minutes. It will take some time of sitting for it to be flame. So you can see very quickly it will show us the temperature that it needs to achieve and the temperature inside. So it actually gets to the temperature quite fast. So I will use the perforated tray to put it inside. If you have a lot of heavy cake, like moist chocolate cake and butter cake, I would suggest the grid, the rack to be put inside because one, the grid is a stainless steel, so it's more, I would say it's more durable and it is able to hold itself very fast, very much longer. So you can see as I'm talking, it's already at 120, so very fast. Once it is done preheating, I just need to open the door, put my product, close the door, and it will continue. I will use Arianna to heat and I will put it in the pan. So depending on the products, you may or may not need to use the Arianna. Right? And certain customers use the Arianna to heat when they are making the fresh croissant or also the sourdough bread because they find the wind dries out the dough a little bit too much. So they want the heat but they don't want the constant heat. Okay, so now that it is done preheating, it is going to be, I just open. Put it in, close the door. You can see the temperature actually drop all the way to 150. So it's going to take some time to get to the temperature that I want, so you don't have to worry. And you can hear that now you don't really hear any sound from the fan. This is at fan 1. Okay?
What's the difference of using frame?
Okay, depending on the cakes that you are baking, I would actually suggest the grid, which is the rack, right? Because it provides better aspiration. And if you're making like butter cake, chocolate cake that is very heavy, our trays are all aluminium. And if your cake is very heavy and aluminium is subjected to heat, it will start to become a bit soft, then it will start to bend. And if you have thin with aluminium tray, it's going to block the heat. So you find that you will need to bake it for longer.
So in chiffon and sponge, what tray are you suggesting?
The grid. The grid, yes. Yeah. So
1.5. Yun na lang.
So you can write down.
Yeah.
And then you can ask Somawi later. 1 kilo. Okay? Unsalted butter. If you have salted, you can omit the salt. If it's unsalted, you will need to add some salt. With certain brands, certain production, when I mix it together directly, I will see specks of yeast. It doesn't dissolve. It adds in a little bit of sugar. If your yeast is new, you don't really need to do the blow test. It's only low there. Then if you get like a big bag of yeast and you just use 1 teaspoon, instead of keeping that in the cabinet, which it will die, I would suggest you transfer it to an airtight container and freeze it. Put it in the freezer, it will last. I have a container of yeast in my office. It's been there since before I started freezer. Yeah. I put it in the freezer. And sticky, just continue to mix. Don't add any flour. Because when you're adding more flour, it's going to be very stiff and dry. You're not going to have the soft flour. Identify these settings. You can put it in your settings and save it in the memory of the oven. So on a day-to-day basis, if you are baking like for business or custom cakes and cookies for festive season and so on, you don't really have to crack your brain anymore. You just press start and you're good to go. Right? So that is how the Unox oven is going to help you to simplify your baking. Right? So once the butter is already nice and fluffy, I will add in the egg yolk. You can spray the dough and add in the steam, or you can add the steam for a bit longer. So for the touch model, I will do 1 minute at 120%. So you can try 1 minute and a half. The gelatinous dough on the exterior. So the longer you put it towards steam, the thicker that layer is going to be. Right? And you have a lot of water, so it will be chewy. So same thing with your sourdough. If you are putting a lot of steam towards your dough, in the beginning stage, you will have a thicker crust. So if you want a thinner crust at high temperature, you will put a little bit of moisture only. Okay, but for today, we are also going to do the soft roll, which we are going to put steam as well. But we are only going to bake it at 150 degrees Celsius and at 80% steam throughout the duration. So when that happens, lower temperature, longer exposure, it will help in the texture of the dough. It will make it moist or make it soft. But if it's high temperature, a lot of steam, you will find that your bread will be more hard than soft. Okay? So it's going to filter your water directly into the oven. Before you use the oven, or before you use the steam, if you've never used it, it's a new oven, you've never used the steam, you would want to run the oven empty to make sure that the pipe is full of water. So when you do that, you just run it for 1 minute. Whatever temperature, doesn't matter, 100%. You just start. Press start, let it preheat, open, close the door, and take a look inside the oven. You would want to see water start dripping. Okay? Because in our oven, when you use steam, it is not going to fall or condensate on the glass because the glass is raw. So take a look at the fan. So for your Arianna manual, you will have a button. So what you want to do is press the button. You will see the water coming out of the tap. Of the pipe, yes, that shows that you have steam. Okay? Water dripping down, steam is there. Okay, Okay, if you don't see, you will see the water coming in. It's good enough. It means it's working. Okay? Okay, model, it's easy. I just set what is my baking time, what is my temperature, and what is my fan speed. So once everything is set, I just press these 3 buttons here. I name it. Okay, we have a lot of pictures in our library which you can pick. Save. Once you press save, it will be saved inside the library. So I can find where is my product. So I have pineapple cookie here. I just press start. And it will start cooking. So if you have a base of products that you are going to do continuously, repeatedly throughout your days, this will be an easy step for you. Okay, so for the cookies, we have used the egg yolk with a little bit of yellow coloring for the base. Some people like to add in a bit of orange as well to give a more realistic look, and some green for the chips. Some people also like to color the dough itself, but for me, I find it a little bit difficult to control the amount of the leaf and the cookie base, so I just put it one base and then I color it. So this oven is also equipped with something called the infinity timer, where it runs continuously at one temperature until you press stop. So this is going to come in handy if you have a lot of cookies to bake. So maybe today you have prepared all your dough yesterday, you are ready to bake. Whole day you just want to bake. If you're going to start the setting each time, maybe it's a bit troublesome because you put one, then the timer runs out, then you have to start again. So that is where you can start your infinity timer. So you just set as normal, press minus, and you will have infinite. So you set to your baking temperature, for example, 140. Fan 2, press start. So what happens here? I will need an external timer for my product. So I'll put 14 minutes. Once it is done, preheating. So some people will have concerns that if I'm going to my products,
Bakit ang tuloy itinagpay? Hindi bakit itinagpay na stick? Meron din yan. Ano ba? Ito yung wala.
close the door, start your timer. Because right now it's on infinite timer, there is no timer in the oven. So you need an exit. So I just go to setting. In my timer, I press minus. When I press minus, it will automatically go to infinite. Okay? So with infinite, again, bear in mind there is no, the oven does not have a timer. It is going to continuously run until you press stop. So if you have a lot of things to bake at the same temperature, this is very useful. Okay? So you have a lot of your products already prepared. You want to just go in, out throughout the day.
In red,
We have, it's the same thing. So when you set your step 1, you go to the time, you just press minus also. It will say INF. Okay? It will not show the infinity, you will say INF, that is infinity. Okay? Same thing. So, again, if you are running infinite, a lot of customers will be concerned that the oven is going to overheat throughout the day. Right? You don't have to worry because this is a very intelligent oven. It is equipped with several thermostats to control the temperature inside. So it doesn't matter if you're baking for 10 minutes in the morning, it will still be 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. you don't have to rotate the tray, switch top, bottom whatsoever. Compared to if you're using a deck oven or a normal convection, you may bake it for 10 minutes in the morning. In the afternoon, once the oven is already overheated, you may have to reduce the baking time to 8 minutes. Then sometimes you need to rotate the tray, you need to see how is the color. So a lot of manual work, right? But for this, once you put it in, you're good with this. Alright? So we will just leave it here. And let's talk a little bit about the cooker that we have at the bottom. So this is an additional accessory for this oven. So inside here, I have my soft roll that we shaped earlier together with the bagels. If you are doing a lot of bread, this is a very good accessory to have because it creates a very even, controlled environment for your bread. But if you're just making 1 or 2 bread a week, you can just put it outside. In your kitchen, it's hot enough. So this oven allows you to at 35 Celsius. Press start, and it will start heating up my cooker. Okay, this cooker is mainly for your normal bread. Okay, meaning that it is not made for croissants or laminated. Minimum 150, that will be cookies like chocolate chip cookies. A little bit more stable will be 150. Butter cookies, German butter cookies, where you want it to be white, will be at 100. Something like this can be at 140. Okay? Fan speed also depends on your product. The slower the fan speed, the longer it needs to take to bake because the heat is moving much slower. Okay? But products like this that are high in fat, high in butter, the dough is very soft, it will tend to crack very easily if you put it at high temperature and quick airflow. Right? So if you have like shortbread cookies, German butter cookies, you may want to do it at 130, 135 at only 5 hours. So give it more gentle. Okay? For cakes, butter cake, I will go as low as 130 fan 1, especially if you have loaf that is very thick and very tall. If you don't want it to rise too much, crack and spill, use it at fan 1 only, 130, 45 minutes to an hour depending on the size. Okay, if you were to put 130 at fan 2, heat circulation is very fast, it's going to rise.